Yeah, I already know that I made a whole video about talking about uh, my love for the dubstep genre of music, but I wanted to narrowly focus on a record label that was specifically designed and engineered to churn out like the best possible content that genre could offer, at least at the time. And to me, that was Firepower Records. Now, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, it's my absolute favorite record label of all time, because if I were to be talking about that, I would be talking about Ulsla. But I don't really want to talk about that. One, because if you know what Firepower is, you probably know what Ulsla is. But, like, two, I find this record label more personal to me. Because there was, like, a short period of time where, like, I was trying to try out other stuff within the EDM umbrella, like house and trance and stuff, and, like, they were fine, but I felt myself, like, really not engaging with the music as much. And then this thing showed up, and I listened to it, and I immediately become hooked, and I'm like, I need to see what the fuck else is being churned out by this, like, this record label, because it is clearly good. And thankfully I was right, because wow, oh my god, so much from that record label ended up being some of my favorite releases almost ever for any dubstep project. I actually did want to talk about this a few years ago during, like, their 10th anniversary of having started. You know, despite the fact they're not around anymore, but, like, whatever. Unfortunately, that also coincided with the time that my computer was on the fritz, and I couldn't really reasonably do that. So here I am now. I guess the 12th anniversary of a 2012 record label fits, but, like, whatever. Truth be told, I wanted to make a series, like, reviewing every single release from that record label, but, like, considering that, like, I'm currently working on my own series at the moment that I'm a little more passionate about, I think that's going to be one of those things I'm just going to push off to the side until I find myself in a position where I can reasonably do it. As it stands, this is the best that I can get to ever talking about it. Firepower Records is a record label that was co-founded by the legendary dubstep producer Datsik, and was named after one of his hit songs at the time, Firepower. I know Datsik has at some point fallen into his own controversy and whatever. I don't know the validity of that. I'm not going to weigh in on whether or not, like, if or if not he deserved to have been canceled or what have you. That's not what I'm here to discuss. Because, quite frankly, I believe I don't know enough about the situation to make a conclusive statement on that matter. All I can say is that what he has done with this record label is absolutely incredible, regardless of the person in question. Point is, there was some dope-ass music there. It pretty much kickstarted the careers of, like, so many legendary dubstep artists, like freaking Baron, Getter, obviously, of course, Protohype. Obviously, Datsik himself had some shots to fire on that label as well. Recoil, Minesweeper. Fun fact, Minesweeper actually one time found me on Instagram and liked my stuff. I gave him a shout out on my stories, and he DM'd me a heart, which was very cute. Thank you, Minesweeper. Minesweeper, my best friend, Minesweeper. True story, by the way. But yeah, just so many like legendary producers in the field nowadays, like pretty much got kickstarted. Like, not to say that they started from there, although Bear Grylls absolutely did start from there. But like people like Company and Phase One, like when they like were like starting to get notoriety, it was because they were on that label. So yeah, they pretty much sowed the scenes for even the current scene for dubstep production, and left a lot of influential stuff in their wake. I'm going to try and talk about some of my personal favorites, if you don't mind. Almost anything Terra Vita related is like pretty much gold. Maybe not so much like their later stuff on the album, but like Power Fire, that LP they came out with, which kind of took me by surprise personally. Literally, like, the single greatest song ever conceived, We're Alive. Like, what the fuck is that last drop? Like, holy shit. Oh, and of course, like, stuff like the Anti-Serum and Mayhem tracks. Like, of course, you got, like, Bangladesh and Trippy. Like, that right there is a classic. I've always really liked Trippy. You know, their other stuff was also, like, really fun, too. The Frim. The Baseline Shika EP is good, but it's very dated. It is very, like, very outdated. And that's why when he came back with, like a second EP afterwards, like, the Fool's Preschool, what a fucking glow up. I genuinely think that this is like his magnum opus, because like it is such a good fucking EP. Like, everything about it is nearly perfect. And then like when he came out with stuff afterwards, it was just kind of like not able to reach that height. It's kind of unfortunate, but like, you're gonna come out with a song like, I will stand by this. City Streets, the best song he has ever fucking made, and it goes completely under the radar because it's just a liquid drum and bass track. Like, it's not the genre he's associated with, so no one cares. But it's literally like the best thing he's ever fucking made, and no one is willing to acknowledge it. I am, bitch. That song is goated. Listen to it. Bear Grylls is weird because that first EP of his, and then that Thirsty single he made, were like some of the best stuff he's ever made. And then some of the other stuff on the record label was pretty good, but near the end of his time on that label, he was really, it was really, really bad. He just kept using the same sounds over and over, and it was just so repetitive and obnoxious. But, you know, he did do some cool shit, so, like, I'll give him credit there. Also, he's kind of funny. The Zach the Lad songs are weird. I will say, the Black Sheep EP, like, I didn't get into it initially, but I was having, like, a depressive episode at one point. I was really upset about stuff. I listened to that, and it almost nurtured me back to health, almost. Like, it's so, like, it's called Black Sheep for a reason. Like, I do not know, like I know Datsik, like, really liked his shit, despite how much it clashed with everything else on the record label. I'm so glad he decided to let him make stuff for the label, because goddamn. But, like, man. Oh yeah, there was that one collab they had with Disciple where they had, like, Datsik and Barely Alive make the Blasters song, but also like that Internet Streets EP. That was weird. I mean, the music was great. It's just like, You don't really see record labels collab anymore. At least not in that way. Oh yeah, there was some early Must Die stuff that was there. Yeah, there was like the Caffeine EP. It's okay. Ooh, the Infuse stuff, like Champion Sound and Go Away, like oh my god, dude, that stuff, dude. I'm gonna get to it, but he's made some banger ass shit for this freaking label. Again, I don't want to touch too much on Datsik, but I'll just say like his stuff was generally like good, like really good on that album. The record label. I meant to say record label. And that's as much as I'm going to acknowledge it for the sake of not wanting to piss people off. This is so weird. Like, I know I showed off, like, the album already, but, like, why did Synchro Noise change their name to Rith? Like, I get it. They're like, going through, like, they want to keep, like, the same name for the sake of recognizability, but they're switching up the kind of music that they're making, but they want to change the name of the work they did previously so that it's not confusing for audience. Well, now you're just confusing me. Alright? You made the same freaking music. Own up to it, man. Whatever. Ooh, the Fugitive Crime Season EP was really good. That one was really good. The Deep End EP by DKS was so different from, like, it's still, like, so different from, like, anything you see nowadays. Like, it's just so easy to just get entranced by really anything that guy makes. I don't know where he is right now, but, like, yeah, that stuff was, like, really neat. I'd recommend that as well if you want to hear, like, something different and, like, just out of the norm. I mentioned Protohype, just almost anything on that label, honestly. Like, except maybe the Nimbus EP. I don't know. I didn't listen to that one. That one didn't really sound all that good. But, like, everything else was, like, pretty freaking dope. He's doing, like, his own independent stuff, too, from what I can understand, which is nice. Oh, yeah! Fox Stevenson started on this label as well. That was a thing. You remember the Endless EP? I don't. Like, for real, though. Endless was fine. I think it was the song Like You. I think it was that one where, like, the drums were way too fucking loud. Those drums were way too fucking loud. It was, like, one of those tracks. Actually, it might have been Give 'Em Hell. I forget. I just know that one of those tracks had drums that were way too fucking loud. And this was fun. Trigger was pretty cool. And the others were like, alright. It was a good start, but, like, oh my god. His project that came right after that is what really sealed the deal of him being fucking legendary. I'm going in alphabetical order on my list here, so that's why I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'll get to it eventually. There's a lot of different things I could say about a lot of different Getter projects, but, like, I feel like if I had to explain what made Getter, like, so good, I would sound kind of like, yeah, no shit. I will say he had, like, such a distinct style, even if his sound was pretty, like, safe. Like, you could always recognize, like, oh yeah, that's Getter. And, like, he's been pivoting in a different direction ever since he left Firepower, which I can respect. I just wish that his fans wouldn't literally, like, boo him out of canceling his entire tour. Because that's not fucking cool. But whatever. Oh, dude. The Flatline series? Oh my god. Okay, so, like, at the very least, Flatline Volume 1. Okay? Because, like, those 4 tracks are just banger, 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 banger. Like, holy shit, what a fucking, like, sure, the concept that got, like, watered down since they, like, did fucking 12 of them over their entire lifetime, but, like, god damn, dude. Like, That shit was hard. And even, like, some of the other volumes were, like, really fucking good, too. I know, like, yeah, Clockworks by AudioWorks was, like, really fucking good in Volume 2. Volume 2 was also, like, just as good of a follow-up as you could get to something that was, like, literally perfection. So, like, can't really complain there. Oh, yeah, Spaghetti was there for a brief period of time. It's kind of weird. It's like, I found Spaghetti on my own. I'm like, this guy sounds fucking awesome. I need to check him out sometime. And I never fucking do. And I regret that so hardly. But then he got picked up by Firepower, and now he's, like, fucking famous instead of just kind of underground. So, like, good for him. Yeah. Kind of just discovering it was the same guy gave me, like, some fucking whiplash. I'm like, oh, shit. Neat. That checks out. Same thing I said about, like, Prototype and Terravita, I could say about Baron. Like, he only had, like, 3 EPs before his unfortunate passing, but, like, his shit was fucking great, dude. Like, he had some legendary tracks. Oh, yeah, Hi, I'm Ghost is a thing. Their stuff was good. Their stuff was pretty good. I would not say it was the height of the record label, but it was definitely above average. I'm very biased because they reposted my artwork for a social media promotion thing, which was pretty cool. And they liked another thing too. They almost didn't credit me. I had to DM them and ask them to do that. I at first did not mind as much, but they credited another person instead, and that's when I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna do that, then, like, where's the thing for me? I made actual fucking art. Nowadays, if that shit happened again, I'd, like, frame one, get them, but, like, I was, like, inexperienced with that kind of stuff, so I wasn't, like, too upset. I should have been. But, you know, they fixed it in the end, so it's all cool. Oh, yeah, Truth! Yeah, Truth had their Hollow World LP on the record label, which that album is really good, except for Goodbye, which literally hurts to listen to. But otherwise, like, yeah. That shit was good. The song Come With Me is probably the best introduction song to anything to come out of Truth. Because if you vibe with that song, you're just going to vibe with their whole discography in general. You want a good fucking song. Like, they had an EP on Wakan. Yeah, Wakan. I think it's called Wakan. There's some other record label that was started by Liquid Stranger. The song is called Hold Ya Tongue. Absolute fucking, like, peak Truth. Like, literally their best song ever, in my opinion. Like, you want to check out more Truth. Like, check out that. I know it's not Firepower, but, like, goddamn. It's just that good. Oh yeah, Tim Ismag was a thing, I guess. I'm kind of neutral about it. I could take it or leave it. The In the Game EP by Init is the single most disappointing thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, listened to, at least. I keep seeing this guy collab with Prototype, and I'm like, oh, I'd like to see what he would, like, do on his own, because, like, all the music he does with Prototype is, like, some of his best, and it's just, like, really fucking good. And then, by his, I mean, like, Prototypes. But then, like, oh, they announced, oh, they're gonna make a solo EP with this guy, and I'm like, oh, that's so exciting, I finally get to listen to him on his own. How does he sound? Like shit. Absolute dog shit. You want to hear, like, the single most obnoxious song in all of Firepower history? Listen to Wanna Flex. Literally the most obnoxious shit in the world! And I get it's meant to be, like, catchy. There's a fine line between catchy and obnoxious. This reaches obnoxious territory. A Rogue Dolphin was also just kind of annoying, too. And then In the Game itself was just very underwhelming. There's a lot wrong with that fucking EP. It's just not good. If I can figure out how to do it in post, I'm going to pull an Anthony Fantano and just say, it's not good. I guess there was also F-Word, but they were never on Firepower, so I'm not going to count it. Rise at Night! Ooh, yeah. Oh my god, dude. I had no idea that these were, like, like Kraftwerk and what's his name, Machinian, whatever, doesn't fucking matter. Like, these guys made some of the best fucking shit on the record label. The Lady Killer EP, the fucking, what was the other one called? Monumental. It was the Monumental EP and its remix EP. Like, oh my god, dude. Like, I don't know what happened to Rise at Night, because the way that they described themselves, they were like, they just got each other. It felt like they were going to be like the next Pegboard nerds or something. But like, they just fizzled out. They did those 2 EPs. They collabed with Excision on the outro track of that one album. And then they did a remix of a Bass Nectar song, and that was it. Like, that's all. Like, I'm sure there's like another like remix or 2 that they did, or like some other miscellaneous shit. But like, yeah, I don't know. They just kind of stopped. I don't know what was up with that, but it's whatever, I guess. Oh yeah, there was a lot of Jay Phelps EPs too. I'm gonna be real. The Living Dead EP is overrated. I said it! Yeah, like, you can crucify me all you want. Like, Living Dead is just overrated, in my opinion. Like, he had, like, what was it, Mech Bounce and Mercamol? Like, those EPs are good. Those EPs are really fucking good. But, I don't know. Like, I see, like, The Living Dead being, like, the most popular thing on, at least on iTunes, from him. And I'm listening to it, and I'm just like, I don't really get it. He came out with like some other stuff that was really good. It's just like that alone just like threw me for a loop. Oh yeah, it was just called Merkham, not Mercamol. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, there was that song One More Night by Willie Joy and Proper Villains. That and the Infuse remix were like really fucking good. Like, that was an easy song to just like spam on repeat. Oh yeah, there were also the Twofold EPs. The Prelude was okay, and then what? The second phase, is that what it was called? I forget. Like, that one was good. I'm gonna be real. They could have just made Skyfire and the remix EP of it and left it at that, and my opinion of them would not change. Because that song is so fucking good. Like, I remember, like, that was, like, the first thing that was, like, uploaded to UKF Dubstep that year, and I'm like, this is gonna be on the Best Of album, and it's gonna be the closing track. And I was almost right. It was the third to last track, but I did call it. I was also right about that one, like, Datsik song ending up on the 2013 Best Of, so... You know, just saying. Which, by the way, best fucking song ever. This is the only time I'm gonna indulge in it, but, like, Datsik's Hold It Down is the single greatest thing he's ever produced. And it's one of my favorite dubstep songs of all time. It's just that fucking good. Oh, man. Viperactive, the Rated M and No Man's Land EPs. Oh, man. I will say this right now. There was a period of time where, like, even Firepower felt like they were just, like, kind of going through the motions. Stuff was feeling monotonous. And then in came Viperactive, who just reinvigorated, like, everything that I loved about the genre again. Like, everything felt so new and original again. He is, in my opinion, the last great artist to have popped off from that record label. Like, I know he did stuff before, but he never really did anything like that sounded quite like this until, like, he went on there. So technically he kind of spawned from it, but, like, semantics. Yeah, there was also Recoil. I feel so fucking bad because I'm one of those guys that likes to listen to things chronologically almost. So I'm like, oh, I'll listen to the Reloaded EP and then listen to those other 2 projects, like Volume 1, Volume 2, I forget what it's called, because that sounded like his fucking peak. And to this day, I still haven't gotten around to it. I need to fix that. I need to fix that right the fuck now, like, when I get the chance. Because holy shit, from what I heard, like it sounded like it was going ball. I just never listened to it the whole way through. And I need to fix that, like, yesterday. Like, Reloaded is still good, but damn. Like, even without having listened to it, I already know those later projects are so fucking good. The guy's just so talented in general, honestly. Like, biggest regret of that record label, never really getting into him as much as I did with other artists. Oh yeah, there's the Savage Nature EP by Obscenity and Eddie. Is that how you say it? Eddie is a great dubstep producer, but this was the worst introduction for him I could have ever had. Because this EP fucking sucked. And then there's the Shell Shocked series. The only noteworthy thing I can say about Volume 2 is that it introduced me to Sandblast and Get Busted, and that's it. I don't know if it is insensitive to name your album Shell Shock Kamikaze and have the artwork be fucking this. But hey, the music was cool. So weird for a guy obsessed with Japanese culture. Like, you think Datsuk wouldn't be touching that. But whatever, I guess. Hey, Zach the Lads Won't Stop is on here, and that's pretty cool. And there's also No Face by Minesweeper, my best friend, Minesweeper. But otherwise, I can't talk about Firepower without talking about the most legendary fucking release they've ever had. Shell Shock Legends. Their 100th release. Every single song on here, except for maybe Troy Nato, is like peak dubstep, dude. Like, even Troy Nato is like pretty decent. But like, Turf Wars have like 4 fucking drops that go the fuck in. Boom is an absolute god tier trap track. Galaxia is infused at his absolute peak. Best song on this project, by the way. Holy shit, it's so emotionally rich and raw. It's so good. Paper Chase was really hype and catchy, and it was also done by Minesweeper, my best friend, Minesweeper. They got freaking Downlink to collab with Terra Vita, which was catchy as fuck. They dragged Sub Antics out from the basement to do a track for this, only to throw him back in there again. Like, huh? Okay, I mean, makes sense. He's an OG, but like, goddamn. Speaking of which, Sub Antics, also really good. Not enough of him. I don't know why, but you know what? Whatever, man. Like, DKS logic. We can't have nice things. And also, Helicopter Showdown was there for some reason, but you know what? I'll let it slide because it was really fucking cool. And, you know, it's like, oh, there's a collab with Eddie, so that makes it okay. There's also Shell Shock Annihilation. That one was okay. It had some decent stuff. You want us to talk about, like, disappointments on Firepower, though? Like, Never Not is, like, the biggest waste of potential I've ever seen out of any fucking song ever. The drop is so bad! And they got freaking DJ Paul on it, too. Come on, man! Whatever. They got Code Pandorum on there, which was cool, at least. But yeah, Shell Shock. The other albums are just compilations. Like, I think it was like their 200th release, where it was just like, bro, I know you're like going out of business, but like, come on. Like, after what you do with Legends, that's how you celebrate? Whatever, man. Rather you just didn't even bring attention to that. Oh yeah, Dead Exit. I remember I listened to a remix of like, I think it was like Drum Sound and Bassline Smith. It was like a song of theirs that they did a remix of. And I'm like, this sounds so fucking good. I want to see more of them. And they deliver by, like, they end up on Circus Records. They end up on Firepower Records. They just kind of got around in general. Now I don't know where the fuck they went. But I could say that about a lot of artists nowadays. But yeah, the Snake EP single, it's weird. It's just 2 tracks. But, like, yeah, Snake and Murder Tune. Mostly Snake, but, like... Yeah. Can you tell that they're fans of Knife Party? Like, can you tell they really liked Centipede? Can ya? Oh yeah, Super Hot Fire was also really fun. That's all I have to say about it, but it was really good fun. You want to talk about, like, legendary releases, though. How many of you fuckers even know what this, like, System EP by D Jasta? This shit, like, unironically, probably, like, top 5 releases from this record label. Like, it's that fucking good. Attention is, like, kind of like a whatever track. It's, like, a nice, catchy sort of song to introduce you to, like, this stuff and whatever. Jump is just, like, high energy, like, constantly, like, potent, and it's just like, alright, yeah. Then the song Life a Bitch is just perfectly crafted, absolutely just perfect fucking dubstep right there. And then System is a great freaking, like, catchy cool down outro track, which it's funny to say considering it's like 6 fucking minutes, but, like, it's really good. It's really fucking good. Like, check out that EP if you get the chance. Okay, this was the stuff I was talking about. I didn't want to say it before because I legit forgot the name of it, but the Throwdown EP by Fox Stevenson. Like, I know I just talked about, like, oh, top 5. This is another, like, top 5. This System, Fool's Preschool, like, Shell Shock Legends, like, in no particular order, by the way. Excuse me. Like, the Throwdown EP, absolutely fucking, like, high five. Very great energy. Love to hear it. Throwdown. Really fast pace. Very nice. Like, it's drum and bass, so it kind of, yeah. It's just, like, it's just really fun. Double Up. Epic as hell. The best fucking song in this entire project is Manage. I refuse to explain why, because it's just one of those magical songs that you need to listen to get it. Just take my word for it. And then All In is just, like, the perfect feel-good outro track. Like, it's just perfect way to wrap it all up. There was also the remix EP. That was also really good, but, like, the original's where it's at, man. Like, come on. Like, let's be real. It's just that fucking good. Like, please check it out. I beg you. It's so weird, man. Like, the System EP was, like, so fucking good, and then Two Steps From Hell, his follow-up on that record label, was just kind of, like, meh. And I don't really have a reason that I can explain why. It just didn't feel as catchy. It just didn't sit... It didn't hit the same... And it's so weird, too, because I think he made an independent album. He came out with an LP, whether it was independent or just some indie label that I never heard of. But, like, that album was good. It wasn't, like, amazing, but it was good. So, like, it was better than the Two Steps From Hell, so I'm just like... Was there just, like, a bump in the road? Like, did he just have to learn something or whatever? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Yeah, the last thing from them that I would want to talk about would be, like, X-Core's Wild to the Core EP. Like, I guess there was also Diamond Pistols in his Wild Style EP. Like, that was pretty decent. But, like, yeah, Wild to the Core was pretty fun. It was interesting to have X-Core of all people on the record label, and then also it be, like, self-referential to his own name in the title. neat. Yeah, that's more. I guess there was also like that first release of theirs, which was like a double EP, weirdly enough, full clip, but like whatever. Like I don't care about that one as much. AFK exists, in my opinion. He's not bad. He's all right.
I don't know how it slipped by me, but there's also Chime. Like, he was also a big deal on this record label and got a majority of his notoriety from there. His debut EP was fine. It was an obvious nod to Skrillex, even self-admitted. But I knew he had potential, and he was really able to make it shine with this fucking project. Like, wow. He's so good, he's still predominant to this day, so that's worth mentioning, I suppose. Don't know how I let that slip by me, but you know what? That's the power of post-editing, baby!
But yeah, that's really all I have to say about Firepower Records. It's just really fucking good music. Highly recommend checking out that shit. If you ever want to like listen to some good fucking dubstep, like that's what, like, I know it gets a bad rep, the genre, because of like people like obnoxiously like poorly inserting it as their intros for YouTube videos, but like, believe me when I say, like, it as a genre is really fucking good and deserves a bit more respect than it gets. And if you want to look for where like it's good as opposed to where it's not, then Firepower Records is the place to go in some areas, I guess. Yeah, for most of their stuff, it's the place to go. But yeah, maybe one day I could give these things the deep dive that they deserve. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but I would love to if given the chance. But for now, this is the best I can do. Thanks for hearing me out. And don't forget to hit that button. You know the one. And drop the bass on that sucker down there. Okay, goodbye.